Tonight on Nebraska Nightly.
A look into the new international market here in the capital city.
Plus, a Nebraska jockey is in critical condition after being trampled by his own horse.
And we will see the security footage of a man getting his truck stolen from a gas station right here in Lincoln. This is Nebraska Nightly.
Live from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Macy Neumeister.
And I'm Elena Tomish. Our top story today, the FBI field office in Omaha is asking for your help. After 12 years, the cold case of a missing woman has the FBI still looking for answers. Cindy Valle was only 15 years old and 5 months pregnant when she went missing on August 25th in 2011. Her family says she went to bed that evening and was never seen again. The FBI has been working with the Omaha police for several months to add some warmth to this cold case. Cindy was a Bryan High School student who was described with black hair, brown eyes, and having a mole near her right eye and chin. The FBI presented an image of what she would look like now at 27 years old. Cindy's family still remains hopeful for her return. If you see her, call the FBI office in Omaha.
A cool breeze has blown its way into Lincoln today, and I am ready for some sweater weather. Meteorologist Logan Schlottman has our latest forecast. Logan?
You'll definitely be having that sweater weather for the next couple of days. As we see, we have a freeze warning and some freeze watches coming in all the way from North Dakota all the way down to Kansas. We haven't had a first freeze like this almost since 2012, and that was on September 23rd. But we're going to see that polar air mass that's going to bring in a cold front that's going to cut all the way around the United States, and it's going to be bringing in some cooler temperatures than seasonal for the next couple of days. And we also just have some red flag warnings from Dothan, Alabama, all the way down to New Orleans. And that's all I have for the watches and warnings update. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Logan. A new international market opened up in mid-September. Jackson Atwell reports this will make seafood lovers happy.
An international market is introducing new cuisines to Lincoln.
I'm very excited to take a look at this first.
Fresh International Market is a national grocery store chain that imports food from 28 different countries. The Lincoln store is the first market in town to offer live seafood.
We have those seafood fly in to Lincoln, Nebraska, and we pick it up from the airport, make sure they are fresh, they are alive, and put.
Bowen Koo is the founder and CEO of Fresh International. Koo says that the store is the largest international market in Lincoln, and it's located near 48th and O Street, about 3 miles from UNL's campus. Fresh International has 8 locations all across the U.S., 7 of which are in college towns.
A large college town, state capital, there are usually a strong demand on international food. That's where our sweet spot, and we want to get into.
Gungsar Yongtang is a UNL student from Myanmar. Gungsar loves to cook and eat food from his home country, but he says it is a challenge to find a quality international market in town.
Sometimes they can be a little bit dirty, like not very pleasing to the eye.
Gungsar and I went to Fresh International to get a first-hand look.
That's good.
What is something that you can't get at a normal grocery store that you'd really like to get here?
I would really love to have some snacks from Asia that I used to have. I used to enjoy it when I was young.
Much of the product was too modern for Gungsar to recognize, but when he saw the roasted duck and the bubble tea, it brought a smile to his face. Gungsar also says markets like Fresh International are extremely important for communities.
Most of the time you do miss your, like culture, foods, and it is very important to also try new different type of foods. It is very important to have the option to get all this variety of foods.
Jackson Atwell, Nebraska Nightly.
Fresh International also offers online cooking classes and recipes so that people can learn to make food from all around the world.
Well, a Nebraska jockey is in critical condition after being trampled by his own horse last weekend. Zachary Ziegler is still in critical condition at a trauma center here in Lincoln, and he is making small improvements. Ziegler was able to squeeze his wife's hand and responding to some of her commands, but has yet to open his eyes or speak. On Saturday, Ziegler was in a race at Columbus Ag Park when his horse tripped on another horse's hoof. Ziegler was thrown from the horse, and the horse rolled on top of him and then stepped on his neck. His partner and 3 children were there when it happened. They live in Grand Island. Ziegler did have a brain bleed, but after the incident, it has been resolved. With a long recovery ahead, Ziegler's family posted a GoFundMe page for donations.
Lincoln Crime Stoppers are asking for help identifying a subject who stole a running pickup truck from the parking lot of a Quick Shop on 48th and Culvert. At a Lincoln gas station around 11:30 a.m. on September 20th, surveillance footage captured a suspect entering a white pickup truck and driving away. He is being described as a man in his 20s with blonde hair. The owner was inside the store. He raced outside to stop the suspect, but the truck sped off. A bystander offered the owner a ride to follow his vehicle. The pickup has since been recovered, but the suspect has not been found. If you have any information regarding the case, you can call Lincoln Crime Stoppers at 402-475-3600 or leave an anonymous tip online by searching for Lincoln Crime Stoppers.
Well, artificial intelligence is the talk of 2023, and many expect AI to take over our lives. But now Congress is trying to figure out how to regulate AI. Nebraska Senator Pete Ricketts introduced a bill to require AI-generated content to be stamped with a watermark. The type of content under question would be any video, audio, or pictures created using AI. If enacted, companies will have 180 days to watermark all of their documents created using artificial intelligence. Students will be required to have a watermark for all AI-generated media they use for classwork, and a June study by Science.org with 697 participants asked whether they could tell the difference between man-made tweets and AI-generated tweets. 50% of the people could distinguish if the tweet was true or false, but none of the participants could tell if the tweet was made by a human or by a machine. With more and more deep fake media making the rounds, Senator Ricketts believes this bill will help the online community. He brought it to the Senate floor on September 12th. Well, coming up after the break.
The U.S. House of Representatives is in uncharted territory and can't get work done until a new speaker is elected.
Plus, a look into the investigations regarding former President Donald Trump.
And student loan relief just days after payments resume, all after the break.
For blood never stops. And at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood. But imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board. So every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
Welcome back. An almost chilly day here in the capital city. It is really starting to feel like fall out there. Meteorologist Logan Schlottman has the latest on our weather forecast for this weekend. Logan? Cold weather has finally came into Lincoln, and I think today is the opportunity. Logan?
Yeah, most of Nebraska is going to be in those mid-50s, even a low of some high 40s with 58 in Lincoln, 48 over in Ellsworth, and 54 in Kearney. We're going to be seeing these temperatures stay like this maybe for one more day, but probably not, as our radar is going to be showing that we're going to be seeing dry conditions for the next 20 to 48 hours. But the only thing that we really like to see here is these really heavy winds are going to be pushing north later throughout the day and making its way over to the Lincoln-Omaha area. In our 48-hour service analysis, we're going to be seeing high pressure taking over the United States for right now, going all the way from New York all the way down to Texas, covering it for the next 12 hours. This high pressure surface system is going to be the reason why we see these polar air temperatures. It's going to be sinking all that cold air down to the surface and cooling it since it's all the way up from the north. But we're going to be seeing this cold front blow all the way across from the Rocky Mountains all the way over to the East Coast, and it's going to be bringing those high pressures as well. We don't even see a low pressure all the way up until Ontario and around in the California area, and it's finally going to blow by a little bit, but we're also going to see a little bit of a low pressure here that might be bringing some storms later on throughout next week. As we see, it's going to come its way down all the way to Nebraska, but it's going to be a little bit of another cold front, which is why we're going to be seeing staggering temperatures throughout the next 7 days, with a high of 75 on Wednesday before we dip down to 61 on Friday, going back up to 71 on Saturday, before going down to our low of 52 on Monday, which is definitely not seasonable for this time of year. Our rain chances, like I said earlier, with that high pressure system are going to be almost zero for the first 5 days, from Sunday through Tuesday, before we finally get some chances of precipitation with a 30% chance on Wednesday and a 20% chance on Thursday. And for your 3-day forecast to cover the weekend plus Monday, we're going to be seeing it go from 63 degrees with the northwest wind of 5 to 8, going up to our high on Sunday of 75 to 6, before we see that cold front kick in again, bringing us down to 64 with a little bit of some wind in the future. But for tonight's forecast, we're going to be seeing 52 degrees. It's going to be clear and breezy out there with a north-northwest wind of 5 to 15 miles per hour. And going from 5 to 2 forecast, we're going to be seeing 55 degrees all the way down to 40. And just a little bit later, we might be seeing some freezing temperatures that might bring some frost throughout the next couple hours throughout that night. And for your week ahead, we're going to be seeing those temperatures, like I said, fluctuate from the 50s all the way up to the 70s. But we're going to be seeing some chances of thunderstorms on Wednesday with 71 degrees, and then 52 on your Friday with some showers as well. Our lows are going to be really low, though, with 40 to 30 degree lows expected. We'll toss it back to the desk.
Thank you, Logan. The U.S. House of Representatives is in unknown territory, and a new speaker is needed to get Congress working again. What does that mean for Americans beyond Capitol Hill? Karen Kefu is in Washington with the latest.
8 House Republicans standing by their votes to remove Kevin McCarthy as House Speaker and grind congressional business to a halt.
There's a lot of angry people, but I would submit to you, when we get a new leadership in, we're going to be just fine.
The current interim speaker can perform limited functions like recess, adjournment, and preside over the vote for a new permanent speaker, but legislation cannot move.
You can't actually legislate on the House floor right now, so this effectively has frozen the country.
With a new deadline to fund the federal government a little more than 6 weeks away, even some Senate Republicans are concerned about the lower chamber.
To my colleagues in the House, follow your heart, but take your brain with you.
A vote on a new speaker is at least 1 week away, and some House Republicans don't want to see it drawn out.
Having our House adjourned when we should be putting appropriation bills on the floor and getting this country back up and running doesn't help anyone.
A long fight could also unsettle Wall Street. Last week, Moody's warned a government shutdown could prompt it to downgrade U.S. debt, a move that could dent the entire U.S. economy. With a shutdown threat averted last weekend, another looms on November 17th. Democrats watching closely.
A lot of work to be done. We need to move quickly and get this resolved from the chaos in the Republican caucus.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kefa.
Jim Jordan of Ohio became the first House Republican to publicly say he'll make a bid for Speaker. Current House Majority Leader Steve Scalise followed with the statement he will also run. Candidates will have the opportunity to make their case to Republican conference at Forum next Tuesday before any vote on the House floor earlier today. Fox News announced the 2 House members will debate on the network Monday prior to the private Republican forum.
And former President Donald Trump is dropping a $500 million lawsuit against his former attorney, Michael Cohen. Trump was accused of reimbursing Cohen for making a payment to silence Stormy Daniels from going public about an affair with Trump before the 2016 election. Trump denied the affair with Daniels, and Cohen served prison time for crimes he committed while working for Trump. In Trump's Manhattan case, where he is accused of falsifying business records, his lawyers on Wednesday claimed the former president was indicted to interfere with his presidential campaign. They argued that the Manhattan District Attorney's Office waited 5 years after the investigation was initially launched, then only seated the grand jury that handed up the indictment after a few weeks. Trump announced he was running for president in 2024. Trump was indicted in March on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. Trump's lawyers say the records the former president is charged with falsifying are personal records and not business records. They say the payments came out of his own pocket and not corporate accounts.
The Powerball jackpot now stands at more than $1 billion. The Powerball jackpot is now $1.4 billion after no one matched all numbers in the Wednesday night drawing. The winning numbers were 9, 35, 54, 63, 64, and Powerball 1 for an estimated $1.2 billion jackpot. The drawing did produce a high number of tickets matching the 5 white balls, but not the Powerball with 10 tickets, each worth at least $1 million. The next Powerball drawing is Saturday.
Well, coming up after the break,
a look into the Husker game at Illinois,
the Huskers' Big Ten opponents for the next 5 years,
and a look into Husker hockey, all after the break.
Of the 40 million tons of plastic waste generated in the U.S. in 2021, only 5%, or 2 million tons, was recycled. Make sure you do your part in keeping Anderson Hall clean. For more information on recycling statistics, visit epa.gov today.
Many of the brands you love don't love animals like you do. Look at the labels of products you use for a bunny logo signifying they don't lab test on animals. Check the label for those who aren't able. Start making the shift by visiting crueltyfreekitty.com today.
Welcome back. In just a few short hours, kickoff will be taking place in the Illinois Memorial Stadium.
And Trey Marler is here with all the latest on things Husker sports. Trey?
Well, it's a Friday night under the lights for Nebraska football as they square off with the Illinois Fighting Illini in what many are calling the most important game of the Matt Rule era. Nathan Hawkins has the preview from Champaign.
Here, 20-mile-an-hour winds, and it started drizzling on us. Now, personally, I would call this nasty weather, but in just a few hours, the Huskers and Fighting Illini will call this football weather. Both teams 2 and 3 coming off of losses last week. They're looking to rebound here in Illinois, also dealing with the recent loss of a legend. Dick Butkus passed away yesterday. He's an NFL Hall of Famer and in the Illinois Ring of Honor. The Fighting Illini will certainly be playing to honor his legacy tonight. But we will see how this one goes. Both teams trying to get back to 500 on this 2023 campaign tonight in Champaign. I'll toss it back to you, Trey, in the studio.
Both teams looking for their first Big Ten win of the season, and kickoff is set for 7 p.m. Now, Illinois has won the last 3 meetings against the Huskers, and the Fighting Illini made headlines earlier this week when the South Stadium caught on fire. Nobody was injured, and no game day festivities are planned to be affected. Earlier this week, the Nebraska football team announced their 2025 through 2028 schedules. Trip to USC and a home matchup with UCLA in 2024 catch the eye. Matchup with Washington and Oregon are to come in 2026. Now, Iowa is the only protected rivalry with the new conference realignment. The Nebraska club hockey team is set to square off with Dallas Baptist for a Friday night showdown. Nebraska Nightly's Harmon Johnson is live from the Breslow Center for a preview of tonight's matchup. Harmon?
Guys, I'm here at the Breslow Ice Hockey Center with UNL club hockey player Kane Bierenstraw. Kane, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing just great. It's a little frigid in here, but we're getting used to it. So Kane, your team went 14-9-2 last year. What's the expectation for the UNL club hockey team this year?
We're just going to build each time we get on the ice. Hopefully the numbers get a little bit better, but sometimes the numbers don't always show how we actually perform. So getting better every time.
Awesome. I think, would you have a message to any fans who might be coming out tonight or didn't know there was a club hockey team at UNL?
Yeah, it's a real fun time to come out. It's pretty action-packed, and yeah, it's just a good time.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Kane, for joining us here. Just a reminder to anyone who wants to come out, the opening night for Husker hockey is tonight at 9:30, right after free skate night starting at 6. You can see they're getting ready. They're firing pucks behind us right now. So we hope to see you all there. It's Greek night tonight, and admission is free. So come on out to the Breslow Ice Hockey Center to watch the club hockey team at their home opener. For Nebraska Nightly Sports from the Breslow Hockey Center, I'm Harmon Johnson. Back to you guys at the desk.
Awesome, thank you, Harmon. Well, Trey, first Big Ten win of the season potentially tonight, and if it's not us, it's Illinois. How do you think this game is going to go?
I mean, I'm excited. Nebraska's building off momentum. Yesterday, the Board of Regents approved their $450 million stadium renovation. So they're hopefully the second win for the week for Nebraska football tonight.
Here's hoping. Awesome. Thank you, Trey. Well, coming up after the break.
A day of fall fun at Pearson's Pumpkin Place.
Plus, it's family weekend at UNL.
And October is National Pet Wellness Month. We have some tips on how to keep your pets healthy, all after the break.
Don't let it happen to other Big Ten schools. Go to saveourdinos.org to learn more.
Well, it's a big weekend here in Lincoln, and Mackenzie Noble is here with all of the details. Mackenzie? Thank you, Elena. Ready to throw on a warm sweater and a cute hat? This Saturday, Pearson's Pumpkin Place is hosting their second annual Pumpkin Spice Fest from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. There will be a vendor market, best of pumpkin treat and drink contest, a magic show, specialty fall cocktails, and so much more. It is fun for the whole family at normal weekend admission price, as well as free parking. Find out more at pearsonpumpkinplace.com/events. Trying to find something a little more spooky than pumpkins and hayrides? Tomorrow night, there is a haunted historical walking ghost tour of Lincoln, Nebraska. This includes a 2-hour interactive tour, stopping at 4 locations and learning about the history of each location and explaining its ties to the paranormal. This tour will focus on hauntings and ghost hunting. There will even be a mini ghost hunting experience for all of those who attend. Tickets and more information can be found on the Lincoln Historical Ghost Quest website. Family weekend is upon us at UNL. The Nebraska Student Union is hosting a family weekend picnic this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. They will feature 402 Creamery as well as provide some delectable barbecue. There will also be games, a photo booth, and so many more things to do with your family. For more information on Parents Weekend and things to do, visit events.unl.edu, where they will be offering bowling, bike rides, and more. Indigenous Peoples Day will be celebrated this month on Monday, October 9th. This holiday was instituted back in 1992 to happen simultaneously with the 500th anniversary of the arrival of Columbus on October 12th, 1492. Indigenous Peoples Day was created to honor Indigenous American heritage, celebrate their culture, and recognize the impact they have had toward the America we call home today.
To continue the recognition for Indigenous people, there is a gathering at the Nebraska State Capitol from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. on Monday. Everyone will gather for sunrise, listen to speakers, among other events and practices. For more information, visit Indian Center Incorporated's Facebook page. We will also be having coverage on the event on NebraskaNewsService.net. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Mackenzie. October is National Wellness Month, and it's a reminder to take steps to ensure your furry friend is healthy and well so that they can live a long and happy life. Here are some tips to do that. Schedule their annual or biannual checkup if they haven't had one. Make sure they're spayed or neutered. Talk to your vet about any breed-specific health issues to look out for. Obesity is a common problem in dogs and cats today, so talk to your vet about what you can do if your pet is not at a healthy weight. Be sure they are up to date on their vaccines and medications, and consider getting them a dental cleaning. They need their teeth cleaned just like we do. If you don't have a pet, there's no better time than a National Pet Wellness Month to volunteer or support animal welfare organizations, such as low-cost spay and neuter clinics or pet vaccination clinics. Let's have one last look with meteorologist Logan Schlottman. Logan?
Yeah, we'll be seeing them temperatures fluctuate, like I said earlier, from the low 50s all the way up to the mid 70s. So definitely get your wardrobe ready as we see 75 on Sunday with the low 52 on Friday with some chances of some severe thunderstorms on Wednesday. So make sure you get your attire right. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Logan. I am so excited for fall. I got a hot coffee this morning. Like, I'm ready.
I got my sweater on today. I think we're finally there. Do you agree?
I think so. Maybe just one last second summer. You never know in the Midwest that any type of weather is always a possibility, but we'll have to see in the next 2 weeks maybe. But I think after that, it'll definitely be fall weather.
Happy to hear it. Thanks, Logan. Well, thank you for joining us for Nebraska Nightly. It's a student production at the University of Nebraska's College of Journalism and Mass Communications.
We'll see you next Tuesday at 4:30. Have a good weekend.